Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I'm so glad you could take time out of your day to join me. Now, our purpose here today. Apple, just this week, released macOS Sequoia 15.6.1. Now, this was kind of a surprise, because having followed what Apple has been doing, Apple has just recently released a couple of betas for 15.7, and what was expected was a release of 15.7, which would take care of some security fixes that needed doing. Yet, when I saw that there was an update available, I was rather surprised to see that in fact it is 15.6.1. What I have discovered, if this information is correct, is that Apple actually did release 15.7 and pulled it very quickly. You may have seen some tech news videos concerning some upcoming Apple releases. The code of 15.7 referred to those releases. So Apple, seeing that they'd given away some things, pulled 15.7. The only reason I know that was I happened to see a screenshot from another Mac Pro user who was trying to install 15.7. And this becomes significant. He was using, of course, OpenCore Legacy Patcher to install it, and it would not install. Now, here's the issue. Apple, for every release that they put out, releases a kernel debug kit called the KDK. That KDK is vitally important for OpenCore Legacy Patcher to be able to patch the OS. And if you saw my recent video on the 15.6 update, I had delayed that a little bit, expecting that there would be a 15.6 KDK. I finally decided to go ahead and install the update anyway, since it wasn't a huge difference at all. And sure enough, the 15.5 KDK that was there worked fine. OpenCore Legacy Patcher fell back to 15.5. Now, I pointed out that screenshot saying that OCLP would not install 15.7. That's because it's set up to only go back one version, 15.6. OCLP will try to install 15.6 using the 15.5 KDK. It will not try to install 15.7 or higher using the 15.5 KDK. So I have no idea why Apple has been so late releasing that KDK. They're usually pretty prompt, within a day or two at most of the release of a version. If in fact Apple doesn't come out with a 15.6 or 15.7, hopefully KDK, we're going to be stuck on 15.6. I tend to think that there's just a lot going on. Of course, Apple is working on Tahoe, the next release, which is going to be coming out within a couple of months at the least here. They're also dealing with the security fixes, and the KDK is just not a huge thing for them to be coping with here. Alright, so as far as this update, this is going to be very easy. I think I'm going to make the rest of the video about as short as I can in dealing with this. I'll download it, we'll run the installer, I'll make a few little comments as we go here, but I know it's going to install. And I know this because I've been installing the Sonoma 14.7.8 on my working Mac Pros. They've all been fine. I do have a 2015 27-inch iMac running Sequoia. I installed it there and it installed fine. So we shouldn't have a problem with this. But I did want to make sure that people are aware that we do need to monitor whether or not Apple has released a KDK. Well, in any event, I'm going to end this clip. I'll go back, I'll download the update, and we'll see where we go. And if you want to see how this all turns out, please stay tuned. Well, we're downloaded and into preparing, and as usual, this is about 35 minutes remaining. I have heard that Apple is thinking of changing that, hopefully in a way that the amount of time remaining in the preparation actually reflects reality, because it sure as heck doesn't now. Well, anyhow, we're coming along. Stay tuned. Okay, as so often happens, it said 35 minutes remaining, and didn't change, and now suddenly everything's prepared, and I'm going to restart the computer. So let's do it. Yeah, it would be a really nice fix to see some reality to the length of time that it spends preparing. If I weren't just sitting here, I would have missed it. Okay, hard to tell how long it's going to be on this screen, but we know it's going to happen. It's going to reboot and go through the whole thing. So I'll save you some time. Stay tuned. Okay, we're down. I'm moving over to the secondary display, which is on currently. The primary display is dark, so I'm expecting something will come up on this. And here we are, the macOS installer. Alright, stay tuned. And it's roaring along and doing its patching. My previous experience with the Sonoma installs, particularly these, are going a lot faster. This is just not that big an update. Stay tuned. And just so you know you're in Broken Electronics, here we are, Ramrod display, set granular progress, running through that. We're on 32 now, and it usually goes up to about 100. Stay tuned. Okay, we're into the second restart now. Both screens are black. Should be up in just a moment. He said confidently. Hi. Here we go. You can see, of course, that the secondary monitors just become active. Why everything is running on the secondary, I really don't know. And we're expecting when we get to the OCLP bootloader that we're going to be booting, yes, into the SSD now. Alright, we'll have a couple more restarts after this. Stay tuned. Alright, we're into another reboot. Waiting for the screen to become active. And I could do these videos with a lot fewer clips. If you've been watching them by now. If you have my undying thanks. But if you have been, then you'll know the drill and how these things go. But heck, let's hang with it until there's the screen active. Come on now, you can do it. And here we go. Back in the SSD. We'll see if we have another reboot after this, but it's not going to be too much longer. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are on the main display. This is about 9 minutes remaining. There'll probably be another reboot after that. But so far this is rolling along. The big question, of course, is going to be when it comes time to do the root patching, will it root patch properly with the old KDK? And the answer is yes. I haven't done a Mac Pro yet with this KDK, but I did the 2015 iMac and there was no problem. All right, stay tuned. Son of a gun. Went to about a minute remaining, and I was expecting another reboot, but by golly, here we are. Okay, I'm trying to wait at this point for, yeah, we're 15.6.1. I'm waiting for OCLP to jump up and offer to do the root patching. It's funny, on all the other machines I've done, the ones that have been updating to Sonoma 14.7.8 and the couple that I've done to Sequoia 15.6.1, it's just jumped right up. Doesn't seem to be happening here. Oh, there it is. Okay, you know, the thing is, with the problems that you get graphically, it's hard to recognize the icons because the OCLP icon, which is usually blue, is now this gold color, but we'll just open up OCLP. We'll try that again. Here it is, and we shall manually install the root patches. Okay. Now I'm going to hang with this here. You see it's downloading the kernel debug kit. It's not going to be able to do that. And since the KDK is the primary focus of this whole video, it's going to fetch the KDK database, and it's going to find that there is no KDK for this particular version. And I do want to show you exactly what happens. There is usually a problem of Wi-Fi. However, I do have this machine hardwired. Okay. So yeah, the closest match is 15.5. You can see that there. And it's patching using 15.5. My experience has been that this works fine. And it actually goes relatively quickly. So yeah, we should be prompted for a reboot pretty soon here. Come on now. Yep, here we go. All right. verbose input has popped up on the secondary monitor. I'm not going to move the camera since I just barely got it lined up. All right. Should be there momentarily. All in all, as I've been saying, consistent with my experience on other machines, this was a pretty quick process. Not quick in the manner of the Apple Silicon Macs. Those were like nothing. The downloads were very small. There's our bong. The downloads were very small. The preparing took some time. I don't really know why. Secondary monitors become active. But once the install of the new version started, bang, it was like nothing. Oh, well, we might as well move the thing. So it takes you quite a while to get lined up. Okay. The other option there, by the way, obviously, is the Mojave installation. Since you've got so many options for mounting drives, I've got a 256 gig SATA SSD that has a bare bones Mojave installation. If something does go wrong, you can always reboot into Mojave and do the fixes that you need to. Coming up here. No stalls at all, that's good. Okay. I'm going to take the leap of faith and go back to the primary monitor. And here we are. Yeah, the location of the camera on the iPhone, which I use as a camera, causes some strange display issues when you're moving quickly. And bang, here we are. Everything looking absolutely fine. Both displays up and running. We looked about this Mac earlier, but we'll do it again. And yeah, 15.6.1. All right. So, the concern, obviously, is the KDK. Now, I'm not, at this point, that worried about it. Apple releases KDKs for reasons that have nothing to do with Open Core Legacy Patcher. And I'm sure they're just jammed up with a lot of things going on right now. When 15.7 does come out, and we suspect that it will probably come out with a KDK, so I think we'll be fine there. All right, so anyway, as expected, perfectly normal, easy installation, no big problem at all. 15.6.1 will work fine on your 5.1 Mac Pros. Okay. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. We can make this world a better place. It isn't yet far from it and getting increasingly far, but it has to start with being good to yourselves. Since this isn't a better place here, please take very, very good and careful care in these difficult times. All right, where we're going from here, I've got a couple of other videos already in the pipeline that I'll have to move in order to put this up on Tuesday morning. And a couple that'll come up after that. We are on the verge. The rehearsals for the upcoming orchestral season start next week. So that's going to slow things down some. But we will have some more videos coming in. I'll do my best to get them out when I can. So until those things are up and available on the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.